Hey, Sports to the Bone family. What's up? What's up? Welcome back, man. Welcome back to another video. Alright, my viewers and subscribers. So, you know that over here on Sports to the Bone, we are not too afraid to touch on the topics that are a little bit touchy or sensitive. Yes, man. People, when they don't hear what they want to hear, they get their feelings hurt. But that is why the comment section is always open, so we can have debates. That is how sports work, especially when you are, especially when you have, different islands coming together to play cricket. You're going to always have people agreeing and disagreeing. Anyways, the World Cup squad is now out, as I would have indicated in a couple of previous videos. So who are the reserves, or who should be the reserves? I am thinking there are probably going to be maybe about 4 or so. I'm not sure, but I have looked at a couple of the other teams. I would have seen India name 4 reserves. I would have seen where a couple of other teams would have named 4, some name 3. So say 4 is the maximum, right? Say 4 is the maximum. Who should be the 4 players that should be selected to be a part of that reserve? Remember now, even though they are in a reserve position, it's a very important position, because if something should happen to one player in the main squad, be it an injury or whatever reason, and they can't perform, you're going to definitely need to draw from the reserve. So we would have seen a couple of guys in the CPL putting their hands up. The main guys that were performing at the international level, one would say that they were selected in the main squad. So we are looking at for players probably from the CPL that would have dominated, or players that would have done some work around the world. So I can almost say that we are sure Andre Russell and Sunil Narayan are not going to be a part of the squad any at all. Neither main squad, well, not certainly not main squad, but probably not reserves also. So we are talking with the mind that these guys are not going to be there. So I have a list of about 10 players here, right? Yeah, man, I have a list of about 10 players that I am going to list out. And let's make that 11 players. So I have a list of 11 players here. And I personally believe that these 4 players that will be selected as reserves will be taken from these 4. Now, remember, I don't work for CWI, so what I say is not gospel. This is me giving my opinion based on what I would have seen. I hear the amount of time I am saying it. So, if you don't hear your favorite player name called, just type your favorite player name in the comment section and say that is the man that you want to be there. Right? This is my team. The comment section open, give your team, and don't bother with the foolishness. Alright. So 11 players to select 4 from. So the first one I am thinking about is Gudikish Moti. And he had the list because I personally believe he should have been in the first squad, in the actual 15-man squad up front. So that is one of the reasons why he's the first name I have on there. I know you can't have too many spinners going into the reserves, but as I said, these are some players that probably would not have gotten a chance at the international level, but they are doing reasonably well in the CPL, and they would have done well in the whatever cricket they would have played recently. Javier Royal is another one, right? That spinner, always consistent, always performing when it comes on to CPL. Not often we hear about him throughout the regular year, throughout the year, right? But when it comes on to CPL, Javier Royal is always there. So he's one of them. Mark Dale is another one, right? Very talented player also. Not as consistent as he would want to be in the CPL, but his name probably will be put in that hat. Romario Shepherd. still doing his thing where the CPL is concerned, and we would have heard the CWI main selector Desmond Haynes encouraging the players that were not selected to continue to work hard and to continue to put in good performances, because you never know when they might need them or when they might call upon them, because the World Cup is a little way from now. Players might get injured, anything can happen, so people need to put in performance. So Romario Shepherd is there. Big Raheem Cornwall, another man that it's a possibility that West Indies cricket has moved past him. I'm not sure if that is the case. My reason for saying this is, he didn't do too badly in the last regional tournament, the last couple of games, and they selected a test squad, and he was nowhere near that squad. You understand? Even though the regional tournament, as I said, he would have done well with the ball especially, right? And we would have seen in the CPL where he's getting his team to after good starts, and as you can imagine, Kyle Mayers and Brandon King are ahead of him, and Evan Lewis is now in the team. So if Cornwall is to be selected in the reserves, if he gets promoted to the main squad, the 15-man squad, and ends up playing, I cannot see him batting anywhere outside of the power play. So that would mean you'd have to shift up the opening pair, take out somebody to give Cornwall the space. So he's another one that, one could think probably might make that four for the reserve spot that I am talking about. Another big unit, the Jamaican Kennar Lewis, not firing as much as the Talawas would have wanted, but he would have shown that he's quite capable of hitting a long ball, especially when there is space on it. One might say his technique is a little bit suspect, especially seeing that he doesn't move his feet a lot. Ball might be you're gonna be getting the pace in Australia and things like that. So we're not too sure. Tian Webster, that opener there that plays for the Trinidad Knight Riders, didn't do too badly in the 60. Started off the CPL on a good note, but has declined somewhat. His name probably can be thrown in there. And a player coming out of the was it the last year or the year before, under 19 team, we're talking about Matthew Ford, right? Good bowling all rounder, bowled the other day, took, I think it was about 3 wickets and made 15 runs in a game. 15 runs, that is. So he's another one that he has been doing his thing. And we have the Spiceman, Andre Fletcher, probably going to be a little bit more difficult for Fletcher to get called up into the reserve, especially seeing that Johnson Charles already made that first team there. So if Fletcher is going to make the squad, he would have to make it as a pure batsman if he's going to make that reserve team as a pure batsman, because they're already looking at Pooran and Johnson Charles being above him, in my opinion. Right, then we have Shamar Brooks, who is yet to really fire in the CPL, but he would have put in some good work at the international level. In ODI cricket, and he would have played a couple of T20 games for us where he got some runs. So if he should go ahead and finish off on a high for the CPL, he might be another one that they look at and think, Then we have Dominic Drakes. He hasn't really featured that much. Not sure if he's battling or struggling with an injury, but not doing as we would have expected. You understand? He was the man of the match in last year's CPL, if I'm not mistaken. Man of the match in the finals, that is, if I'm not mistaken. Hitting some good deliveries there to finish off the game, and was also bowling well. So those are the 11 players that I am thinking about, my peeps. 4 players you would have to select from that. So there are other players outside of those 11 that I did not call. I can't call everybody. So if I mention 11 players, and once again, if you don't hear your player in the 11, the time you're going to take and write up in the comment section who fighting against players, you just write your 11 players and cancel out whatever 11 players I would have put or what other people would have put. So yeah, I am expecting that probably the four players, if they are going to be going with four, if they are going to be going with four, I expect them to be selected from this 11 that I just announced. Wasn't making a team when I list that 11. It's not making a West Indies team, but just gave you 11 players that I think the four will be selected from. Maybe as the CPL goes on, we can narrow it down a little bit more, and I'll be able to say yes, definitely these are the four that I would be working with. But the comment section is open, my peeps. Just go ahead and let me know what you think in the comment section. All right, big up.